The West is monolithic. The major division, I would say, is not even a regional division. There's subregions of the West, and they're defined in all kinds of ways. But the basic divide in the West is between urban and rural. The West, and it's one of the things people usually don't realize, has been since the late 19th century the most urban part of the country. I mean, that sounds surprising because we think of the West as about cowboys, wide open spaces. But if you think about it, the two actually go together. If you fly over this country in an airplane down to the present day, you can pretty much tell what part of the country you're in just by looking out the plane windows. If the lights are relatively continuous, you're in the east or the south. As you move west, there'll be great concentrations of lights at night, but there'll be also large parts which are either black or which the lights are quite sparse. And you're in the West. And the reason you have these deep concentrations of lights in this place where there are very few lights is that population in the West is concentrated in very large urban areas. And it's been growing more and more urbanized ever since. And these urban areas are becoming, despite sprawl in many places, even denser. I mean, I think Los Angeles now has a higher population density than New York City, which sounds impossible, except we think of Los Angeles as the whole Los Angeles area, not just the city of Los Angeles, and we think of New York City as Manhattan, but there's a lot more to New York City than Manhattan. The West is urban. And so this kind of urbanism in the West, this growing urban power, has really made much of the rural West weaker and weaker in proportion, and it's fed this divide which has existed for a very long time. I mean, more and more the rural West sees the urban West as this sort of giant Los Angeles, a place where people make money, can come in, have summer homes, don't have to make a living on the land, bring in a set of attitudes which they see as far different from those in these smaller rural communities. And if you have an internal hostility in the West, it's not between subregions, it's between the urban West and the rural West.